was a boy, a very strange enchanter.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for stopping by to check out our new podcast, #Love. My name is Paul Carganilla, and I am an actor, writer, and wedding DJ, a resident and native of Southern California. And I got to tell you a bit about how this started. You know, being a wedding DJ has so many awesome perks, but one of my favorites is I get to hear so many great stories about romance or dating or how people met, whether it's a drunk speech from the maid of honor or best man or just sitting down and speaking with the bride and groom in our meetings beforehand. These stories of romance, true romance, really intrigue me, and I never get tired of hearing them. And I was speaking to some of my very close friends recently, and they were asking me again to tell the story of how my wife and I fell in love and got together, and I kind of got the inspiration to start a podcast in which we could bring to the listener, the audience, true stories of love and romance, whether it's first dates or terrible, disastrous dates or epic love stories of courtship and finally proposal. And so that's kind of how this came about, and that's what we're going to try to do here on our #Love podcast. I will never forget this one day when I was very young. It was late afternoon, and I was kind of down because I don't remember how, but I had made a fool out of myself at school that day, and kids laughed at me, and I was embarrassed, and I was sad that night. And my amazing mother came in and sat with me, and she told me this story about when she was in school. And the teacher stood in front of the class and asked the class if anyone knew what makes the world go round. And my mom raised her hand right away, and the teacher called on her, and she said, "Love. Love makes the world go round." And all the kids in class laughed at her. And she felt so embarrassed, but at the same time, her little young, naive heart, that she believed it from the song that she heard somewhere. Well, now I'm 30 years old, and while I'm not an old man, I do consider myself to be wiser, and I don't know how wrong my mom was that day in class. I don't know how erroneous the writer of that song was. Love, if you think about it, is the meaning of life. It's the reason we're here. It's not the things that we get. You can't take it with you at the end of everything. The most important thing that we've got is the time that we share with our loved ones, our friends, our family, our spouses. That's really what makes life worth living. And so I present to you this podcast. I hope I can bring you some stories that'll make you laugh, make you cry, that might inspire you. But at the very least, I hope you're always entertained. And if you do enjoy it, I hope you'll please share it with your friends, family, via social media or word of mouth. And make sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes so you get all the latest episodes the minute they come out. Our first episode will be released pretty shortly here, so until then, everybody, carpe diem, seize the day, and #love.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.